Sua has left her son, Jaiho, a story about a place between heaven and earth called Cloudland. People stay in the Cloudland until they have forgotten their memory, and after that, they move up to the heavens. The mother penguin on the Cloudland used to cry for her baby all day. One day, she decided to hop on the raindrop train to come down to earth so that she can see her baby penguin. The mother penguin finds her crying baby at the train station, and when the baby penguin meets her, he is more than delighted. Both of them spend their entire time playing games and having fun. Later on, the mother penguin was informed by the raindrop fairy that it was time for her to go back to the Cloudland, as she can be on Earth during the rainy season. Initially sad, both the mother penguin and her baby happily bid each other farewell, and the mother penguin was never sad again. Sua has died, leaving her son and her husband, Woojin, mourning for her. Not having Sua around anymore, Jaiho and Woojin have to take care of their own activities now. Woojin usually wakes up early in the morning and goes to the gymnasium, where he works, to clean up the pool. Jaiho, who still hasn't recovered from the loss of his mother, has made up a habit of sleeping in Sua's wardrobe. Woojin is trying his best to manage day-to-day activities and can have some troubles while preparing food in the kitchen. He returns home and finds Jaiho in the wardrobe. He tells him to get ready for school. Jaiho watches on the news that the rainy season is just around the corner. Jaiho tells his father that Sua would be coming when it would rain, just like the story he had read. Woojin dresses up, takes his daily medication, and kisses his wife's photo before leaving to drop Jaiho off at school. At work, Woojin's colleague, Hyunyoung, seems to have taken a liking to him. The manager there doesn't seem to like Woojin that much, even though he does his work pretty well. While Woojin is cleaning the pool, the manager wants to embarrass him by pushing him into the pool in front of a large crowd of women who are learning how to swim. The manager fails and falls inside the pool himself. He also lets him know that he has much longer legs than anybody else. Woojin appears and thanks Hongo for taking his place in the game. Woojin comes and takes Hongo's place. It rains the next morning, and Jaiho gets excited as he believes that his mother may have arrived from the Cloudland. Jaiho sprints his way to the railway station, but much to his dismay, he is unable to find his mother. Both Woojin and Jaiho wait for Sua, but there's no sign of her. Jaiho is adamant that his mother will arrive. Woojin picks Jaiho up to leave for home. While they are heading back, Woojin notices that a woman is sitting inside the tunnel. Jaiho thinks that it's his mother, but Woojin orders him to not make any noise as they still don't know who the woman is. As Jaiho can't wait out of excitement, he runs toward the woman and wakes her up. It is actually his mother, and Woojin is dumbfounded to see her. Sua can't seem to remember either of the two and doesn't seem to know about any place named Cloudland. Both of them take her back home and shows her that she is actually a part of their family. Woojin takes Jaiho aside and asks him why does his mother can't remember anything, to which Jaiho has no such answer. Woojin tells him to not say anything to anyone about what they have just witnessed, and to pretend that all three of them were together all along. He assures Jaiho that Sua would be able to regain her memories soon. Sua has some questions about Cloudland and her lost memory. Woojin and Jaiho say that she was sick and was in a hospital that is named Cloudland, and when she came back home and all of them played hide and seek, she hid inside the tunnel and a rock had fallen on her head, causing her to lose all of her memory. Sua gives them the benefit of the doubt and believes them. Woojin is still astonished over the fact that his wife has come back. The next morning, Woojin comes back from work and takes Jaiho to school. Woojin drops Jaiho off at school, but after seeing that his father has left for work, Jaiho decides to not take school and rushes back home. Sua wears her wedding ring again and finds a key to a door that she isn't aware of. Jaiho wishes to spend the entire day playing games with his mother. They play various games, but Sua ends up picking wins in every single one, including boxing, in which Jaiho's nose starts to bleed. During dinner, Jaiho demands his mother's rice cake skewers, and when Sua does make them, they start to pop out of the pan. Woojin gets a hold of Sua and hot rice cakes fall on Woojin's back, burning it in the process. Jaiho goes to bed and Sua asks Woojin to undress himself. Thinking that Sua is looking forward to a romantic time, Woojin does what he is told, but finds out that Sua actually wanted to apply medication to the burns he got. Sua asks him about how they got together in the past. He explains that they both went to high school together, and Sua was in fact the best student in the entire school, whereas he was just a student swimmer. Sua was hard to approach as compared to other girls. One day during a swimming lesson, Sua began to drown, but Woojin was there to save her. Hongo, who also went to school with them, told Woojin that Sua likes Woojin more than he likes her. Woojin began to approach her, but Sua had strong control over her feelings. During a ballet lesson, both of them couldn't rehearse with the partners they were assigned because both of them were left-footed. Their teacher asked both of them to pair up. Woojin got excited and nervous at the same time. The ballet rehearsal ended in a disaster and Woojin accidentally hit Sua with his head. Sua chose not to speak with him till the last day of school when she asked him for his signature on her school book. Sua forgot to give Woojin's pen back to him and takes it with her. After high school, Sua went to a top-tier university in Seoul while Woojin went to a nearby college. Sua asks Woojin the reason for them not dating in high school. Woo Jin explains to her that he tried calling her multiple times but couldn't find the courage to do so. It took him more than 2.5 years, along with Honggo's motivation, to gain the courage to call her. Just as Sua picked up the call, Honggo stopped Woo Jin from ending the call. A nervous Woo Jin didn't know what to say, so he stupidly proceeded by asking her to return the pen he gave her all those years ago. Sua agreed and Woo Jin was excited to meet her. Woo Jin nervously met Sua and took his pen back. Before she could leave, Woo Jin asked her out for a drink. Both of them had dinner where they discussed their lives at university. Woo Jin was cautious and didn't want to mess up the entire dinner. He ate just the way Sua did. After dinner, they waited for their bus. Woo Jin purposely missed his bus because he wanted to look after Sua and wait until her bus arrives. As she stepped into her bus, Sua informed him that she won't be returning from Seoul until the next winter break. As the bus left, Woo Jin ran right after it and demanded the bus to be stopped. He requested Sua for letting him write letters to her, to which Sua happily agreed. Having Sua by his side, Woo Jin now feels more comfortable and happier in his job again. One of Jae-ho's friends tells him that it always rains when his father washes his car. Sua notices a cabin outside of her home, but it turns out to be locked when she tries to open it up. She uses the key she found earlier to open up the cabin. It includes all of her past works and drawings. Honggo invites Woo Jin to a restaurant for whom he plans to set up a meeting with a woman. Woo Jin is uninterested and leaves immediately. Honggo later finds out that the woman was more interested in him rather than Woo Jin. One night when everyone's asleep, Honggo comes home drunk and dressed up as a penguin. Not wanting to know anyone that Sua is at their home, Woo Jin tries to make Honggo quiet. Sua comes out and meets Honggo, who goes into shock after seeing her. He thinks of her as a ghost and runs away. Sua asks Woo Jin about what happened after he promised to write letters to her. Woo Jin then reminisces about the time when they both went on a movie date, where he tried to hold hands with Sua during the movie but ended up holding the foot of the man seated behind them. After the movie was over, Sua got romantic and placed her hand inside Woo Jin's pocket. She does this in the present as well after hearing about this. Woo Jin takes Sua to the top of a hill, where they watch a movie from a drive-in cinema nearby with the help of a binocular. Sua enjoys the movie a lot and is totally engaged in it. Woo Jin tries to get close to her and they both share a romantic kiss after a very long time. Jae-ho marks his calendar for the possible date when the rain would end. Sua also finds the story about the penguins in the Cloudland. Sua has settled herself perfectly in her home and begins to enjoy more with Jae-ho and Woo Jin. She plays games with Jae-ho more often and intentionally loses for her son's happiness. All three of them go on a picnic to spend a peaceful time with each other. When they return home, Woo Jin falls and passes out again. Sua asks him about his disease of passing out from time to time. He tells her that after their third date, he went on to practice for his national tryouts, and when the time came for the tryout, he fainted while he was swimming. The doctors told him that there was a problem in his brain that controlled hormones, and he has been taking medication ever since. His condition has only gotten worse since then. He would always black out when he would get nervous or strain himself. Knowing that this condition would also affect Sua's life, Woo Jin made the tough decision of not seeing her again. Not wanting to tell Sua what was wrong, Woo Jin told her that he had different plans and it was better for them to not date each other anymore. He struggled to get over it for over a year, and when he decided to meet her one last time, he found her with some other guy at her university. Sua found out about his condition and realizing that she loves him so dearly, she decided to spend the rest of her life with Woo Jin. Sua wanted him to propose soon, as she hated every minute they were apart. Woo Jin married her and soon Jae-ho was born. Jae-ho asks if she would be coming to his school concert, where he and his class fellows would be singing about what they want to be in the future. Woo Jin signals Jae-ho not to discuss it as no one could find out that Sua is with them. Sua finds her old diary in which she would write about her life every single day. At first, she finds joy in reading it but gets nervous as she reads on. Woo Jin returns home to find Sua teaching Jae-ho how to make eggs. Sua goes through the entire story of the Cloudland and realizes that she might have also appeared from that place, and would have to return after the rainy season is over. Sua also teaches Jae-ho how to wash clothes and his hair properly. Sua watches old footage of when Jae-ho was born and emotionally tears up as she's aware that she would be leaving them soon. Woo Jin watches from close by and is aware of the fact that Sua's time with them is now limited. He acquires Honggo's help in covering up the tunnel with a lot of wood, in an attempt to not let Sua leave. Woo Jin gets a call while he's working and is informed that Jae-ho was trying to wash his friend's father's car, as he thought it would lead to more rain. Woo Jin appears and apologizes to the mother of Jae-ho's friends. The woman explains that she called Woo Jin not to complain about Jae-ho, but to advise him that Jae-ho should be getting therapy as he may be suffering from emotional problems because of the sudden death of Sua. Jae-ho explains his action to his father and tears up, saying that they can't let Sua go again. Woo Jin hugs him and tears up too but knows that he can't do anything. Sua goes to meet Honggo at his bakery and asks him for a favor that would take a long time of his. A strong rain washes away the majority of the wood that Woo Jin used to cover up the tunnel. Sua returns with a birthday cake for Jae-ho. All of them celebrate Jaiho's birthday, which is yet to come later that year, and Woo Jin records every second of it along with taking a group photo. Soo-ah wonders that Jaiho would grow up to be as beautiful as Woo Jin. She gets emotional and breaks down crying, thinking that she doesn't have much time left to spend with them. She shares a final kiss with Woo Jin. The school concert is about to take place and Soo-ah can't go there as everyone knows that she is no more. Woo Jin finds his manager passed out in the pool after the light bulb base, which he fixed a few weeks ago, had fallen on his head. Initially reluctant, Woo Jin risks his health and dives into the pool to save his manager. The concert begins and one by one all of the students come forward to share what they want to be in the future. Soo-ah secretly comes in to watch his son. When Jaiho steps forward, he refuses to share his dream of becoming a runner. Instead, he shares that he is good at cleaning, washing his hair, and preparing food, all of which were taught to him by Soo-ah in the prior days. He promises his mother that he would protect his father. Soo-ah gets highly emotional and is immensely proud of her son. The crowd gives a huge round of applause for Jaiho's perfect speech. Soo-ah goes outside to find that clouds are disappearing and realizes that it's time for her to part ways with her family. Woo Jin, who is being taken to the hospital, gains consciousness, and when he watches the sun come out, he rushes to meet his wife. Jaiho is unable to find his mother at home. He runs towards the tunnel to meet her. Jaiho stops Soo-ah and explains to her that he overheard at her funeral that she got sick after he was born, and apologizes for being the reason for her death. Soo-ah tells him that he was never the reason for her death and confidently says that Jaiho is the reason for her happiness, as she and Woo Jin would have never been happy without him. Woo Jin rides his bike to the tunnel and almost gets in an accident, which leaves his bike damaged. He runs towards the tunnel but is losing his strength. He remembers when he told Soo-ah that he wanted to make her happy but failed to do so. Soo-ah told him that she was more than happy with what he did for her and asks him to come to Cloudland soon, before sharing their final kiss. Woo Jin reaches the tunnel and emotionally bids his lovely wife farewell. Woo Jin and Jaiho are living a normal life once again. Woo Jin has started to give young children swimming lessons. Woo Jin finds Soo-ah's diary, where he learns that she always had a crush on him, and she was excited to know that they would be in the same class in high school. She had also written how she embarrassed herself after almost drowning and not responding to him on time. She intentionally messed up her steps during the ballet rehearsal, so that she can be Woo Jin's partner. She blames herself for everything going wrong with the ballet as well. She had also written that she actually tried to call him after high school, and got Woo Jin's call just when she was about to call him. She enjoyed every single date they went on and struggled when Woo Jin decided to not meet her again. She explains that she saw Woo Jin when he decided to come to her university to see her. When she ran to reunite with him, she got in a deadly accident, leaving her in a coma. When she was in a coma, she leaped 8 years into the future where she was founded by Jaiho and Woo Jin. She had lost her memory but loved the time she spent with her husband and son. When she woke up from the coma, she had to decide between marrying someone else to live a longer life or marrying Woo Jin, and dying early in her life. She realized that her happiest moments in life came with Woo Jin, so she decided to live the rest of her life with him despite knowing that she would die after Jaiho would be born. She left her studies just for Woo Jin. She concludes that it was meant to be and she loved every second of it. Many years later, Jaiho has grown up and is looking forward to his first date on his birthday. Hango brings cake for him along with birthday cards written by Soo-ah, something Hango promised to do after her death. Woo Jin gifts Jaiho his mother's diary on his birthday. Jaiho leaves for his date with his uncle and Woo Jin continues to remember his lovely wife.